Hey guys, today you're going to get one sheet of white paper off of the front table. You're also going to need one paintbrush, and you're going to get one of these strips of paper, and everything else should be at your table. We always start off by putting our name on the back, Mr. Calvert, you are my 3, and then whatever class you're in. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to put a dot somewhere kind of towards the center, maybe about here. Doesn't have to be directly in the center. It could come this way a little bit. It could come this way a little bit. All right, but try not to put it off to the side because this is going to eventually be going vertical. All right. After I have that little dot, I am going to start drawing some straight lines that touch that dot. You can start with a pencil if you'd like, or you can use a crayon if you think you can do it without making any mistakes. So when I do this, I need to line up my strip so that it touches that dot. And I'm going to draw a line that goes from that dot all the way to the edge of my paper. Just like that. It has to touch this dot because we want it to come to the center. I could do a few of the same color. I could change it up a bit. Make sure that your hand does not slip. We want these to be super straight. So if you need to start with a pencil, I highly recommend it. I'm going to draw a whole bunch of lines going to the edge of my paper. I've already got 5, and you can see I'm not even halfway there yet, so there should be quite a few of them. Use whichever colors you would like. You can do a pattern if you want. That's all up to you. After I've gotten these lines going from the center of my paper out, I've got a whole bunch of them. Now I'm ready to paint. Make sure that every one of those lines touches that center dot though. Today we're going to paint using temper cakes. Remember that you need to get your brush super wet when you're using the temper cakes. And if it looks like your paint tray is out, like this green looks pretty empty, check the sides. If you can see color around the edge like this, that's paint still. So I'm getting my brush nice and wet. And I need to paint inside of each one of these little triangles that I just made. Get my brush nice and wet and getting some paint on it. And very carefully painting. This is going to end up being the background to our self-portrait. You could do a pattern of painting if you want. You don't have to though. However, the one thing I don't want you to use is I don't want you to use black. I don't want you to use white on this part. And if you get too much paint and water on your paper, you might want to skip so that you're not painting right next to each other. Sometimes those colors might bleed together. I'm doing a good job of not using too much water though, so I don't need to worry about it. When you get this far, you are done for the day. Remember that I started off by putting my name on it. I put a little dot somewhere towards the center of my paper, and from there I use this straight edge to draw lines using crayon going from that dot all the way to the edge. Those lines have to touch this dot every time. When you get lines drawn all over the place going around the edges, then last but not least you can use your temper cakes to paint. Make sure that each one is different, alright? And my only request is that you do not use black or white when you do that. We want some nice colorful backgrounds. When you're done, this goes on your messy paper onto the drying rack.